narcotics and contraband are just part of the border. The important thing is that they don't come across by themselves. It takes a human being to bring them across. We did see a drop in apprehensions after 2006 when the fence came about, when the right mix of technology and infrastructure came about, but yet we didn't see that drop in narcotics. You know, those are not controlled by the economy. It doesn't matter if there's jobs in the United States or not, drugs are still going to be tried to be brought into the United States.
All right, that was a Border Patrol agent talking about drugs being smuggled all across the border. Back in July of 2014, the Texas Department of Public Safety gave me a briefing about the border, along with then-Governor Rick Perry. Watch this.
90% of our undocumented aliens that are apprehended along the Texas border occurs here in the Rio Grande Valley. 84% of other than Mexicans that are apprehended in Texas occurs here in the Rio Grande Valley area. Criminal aliens have been responsible for about 642,000 criminal offenses.
You've got homicides over 3,000 committed by criminal aliens.
Joining us now, former Texas Governor Rick Perry in his home state, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions, and we continue with Donald Trump. What a warm Austin welcome. Thank you all. Governor. Governor, I was not supposed to be in that briefing with you. Obama was supposed to be there, but he didn't go. Now, for those of you that couldn't see the monitor, that showed from 2008 to 2014, 7-year period, in your state while you were governor, 642,000 crimes committed against Texans alone, including murder, rape, all sorts of crimes. That is, to me, the most underreported story in the country. Tell us about it.
Well, the real issue for me is that southern region of that border, and that was what we brought to the attention of you and your viewers and the people of this country, that 150-mile region. Mr. Mayor, 53% of all the apprehensions along the entire 1,800-mile border from Tijuana to Brownsville occurred right there. Wow. And what we wanted to show the President was that, look, Mr. President, you fish where the fish are. And you go where the problems are. I mean, they get up and they talk about, oh, we put this much money into Border Patrol, or we've done this much, or we've done this much on border security. And the fact is, they're putting the resources in the wrong places. If they would put the resources along that southern region where the real problems are, then you would see extraordinary impacts. And we saw by putting our law enforcement already on the border, driving down those. One thing I do know, when Donald Trump is the President of the United States, we'll have somebody that cares about securing that border. I know that.
You know,
you'd be there.
I've been down to the border, as I said, about a dozen times, all the way from the Rio Grande to San Diego. Drug warehouses, tunnels underneath. I've been in all-terrain vehicles, helicopter, boats with you, horseback. That was a joke. And I was out, and I've seen gang members arrested. When we were doing a show right there in the Rio Grande, a family from El Salvador got arrested 10 feet away from us that day. Governor, he's America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani, good friend of mine. You know, I watched all the years that you were the mayor of New York City, and you took a murder rate of 2,500 about a year, and you drove it down to about 500. You had 650,000 New York City residents alone on welfare. What was the number when you left?
We got it down by 600,000.
Okay. And here's my question. Donald Trump says extreme vetting. Donald Trump says control the border. I remember the media went after you with a vengeance like they're going after him. True or false?
I remember. I had all the scars back here.
Yeah.
They're back there. Hundreds of New York Times editorials when I required people on welfare to work. They went crazy. Right? They went crazy. I required them to work 18 hours a week, and I went to all of the different places I could go where the poor people lived, and I said to them, I'm doing it for your good, because I want you to, I want you to get up in the morning and go to work. And Rick is absolutely right. The program that helped us the most in reducing crime was the CompStat program. And you know what the CompStat program did? It took our police department, and instead of having them sitting in precincts where there was no crime, the CompStat program, because you analyzed crime every day, moved the police around to where the crime really was. One of the reasons we had so much crime in New York was because we were, as Donald Trump occasionally says, we were stupid. I swear to God, we were stupid. We had the cops, we had them in the wrong place. The crime was taking place on the subway platforms, and we had our police officers in the subway cars.
But what I saw, and I watched this whole process, and you don't back down from the media, you didn't back down from the media, you didn't back down, and Senator Sessions didn't back down. It seems that when 65% of every exit poll in those primaries said that Republicans felt betrayed by the Republican Party, isn't it? Right? Isn't it because that they don't have the courage to take the stand? And Senator Sessions, I'll ask you, what do you say to some of your fellow Republicans that are mysteriously reluctant and resistant to keep their pledge and to support the candidate?
Well, Donald Trump has spoken out for millions of Americans. He has been their voice. And he's proven that by the scars that he's taken defending us and the values that we believe in. And so I tell my Republican colleagues, you need to listen to this. Donald Trump is bringing in new voters, people who are frustrated and tired of the system as it is. We need to listen to what his message is and join with it, and we'll have a great party with a new surge of voters that will lead to victory.
Mr. Trump, this raises a really interesting question. By the way, you have every reason to be mad at Governor Perry, because if Governor Perry didn't create 1 million jobs just in Texas alone, Obama would have had negative job growth in the course of his presidency. So here's a question, though. These are 3 men that have governed successfully. Are these 3 people you would want to work for you? And if you...
Absolutely. I'll tell you, because you really did ask Rick Perry a little bit of a tough question. Rick is saying, I don't like this question. Rick Perry was a great governor. He did a fantastic job as governor. Fantastic. I think we have somebody.
Yeah. Oh, we got one more protester. All right. By the way,
so now when it goes out, I feel like I'm back in New York.
Exactly. All right, we got it. I don't think y'all didn't hear Rudy Giuliani. The mayor said, I feel like I'm back in New York. I feel back at home. We got to take a break. I want to ask you one quick question. Donald Trump's agenda about refugees, about the wall, the border, his plan to repeal Obamacare, his originalist justices, fixing the VA, building up our military. Do you 3 as advisors, because do you think it would be a good idea if you put it down on paper and said, Donald Trump promises to America, his top 15 items? Good idea or bad idea, Governor Perry?
It's a good idea, and basically he's done that. I mean, he's laid out very clearly for the American people.
I want to see it in gold Trump leaf.
Well,
yeah.
Well, you know, I think if it were in writing like that, Sean, it would be hard for a lot of these Republicans who are not supporting him. After all, that's what the party stands for, right?
Right.
For the last 8 years, we're against Obamacare. We're in favor of lowering taxes. We're in favor of getting rid of regulations. Yeah. We're in favor of stopping illegal immigration.
Supreme Court judges.
And we are in favor of...
The Supreme Court justices. What a huge... By the way, Hillary's justices or Mr. Trump's justices? Who do you pick, right?
Yeah. What do they want? What is it that they want that they're not getting from? You know what they want? They want to be able to control them. They want them to be part of the old machine, the way things
Oh, the New
used to
York
work.
Times quoted me as nobody controls him. So, that was this week.
That's it.
Senator Sessions, last word.
Well, I think Donald Trump represents probably the last chance we have to fix Obama.